Hey everyone! If you're enjoying the coverage of the Pro Play Tour Online series, just remember, you can play in one yourself. Every Thursday you can enter our free weekly 64-player tournament with invites to the entire Top Cut. Every Saturday is our weekend championship, where you can enter a YCS-type event with 100% payout and even a cash payout option. The more players, the bigger the prizes. Can't commit time to play in our one-day events? We also host multiple 8-man pods daily, ready to fire on demand on your own schedule. All these events award invites to our free invite-only Players Championship, May 9th through 10th, with prizes supplied by our sponsors. For more information, visit ppgeventmanagement.com and come play with the pros.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PPG Weekly Thursday free event held by Pro Play Games. I am joined here with my good friend Dale from the UK. Is going to help me commentate this event today. We have 130 players. PPG decided to extend the player cap for this week only for the free weekly, which has been very interesting. So we doubled the amount of players we usually have. As a result, we should be playing 7 rounds of Swiss today. So it's going to be a good day. And we already got a DDD matchup versus something mysterious, a set one pass. But we'll see how this goes. Dale, how are we doing today? It's all right. Dale's trying to figure out his mic stuff. It's not a problem. All right. DDD player does. Activating Dark Contract at the gate. Gren is thinking he might have a response. He allows it to go. DDD is one of those hypes decks post Master Rule 5 that now that you can summon Fusion, Synchro, and XZs to the main monster zone, it's one of the decks that really is able to unleash.
Right, I should be in. Can you all hear me now?
I can hear you. How are we doing, buddy?
There we go. Yeah, not too bad, man. How's everything going your end?
It's going well, man. Going well.
Excellent. Started off with a fairly decent matchup already.
Ooh, so we had Dimension Shifter activated with Call by the Grave chained. That was interesting. It was an interesting time to play the Dimension Shifter.
Yeah, I mean, you don't, as a DDD player, you don't ever want your stuff to be brutally banished unless you're going to be doing it. So this is certainly going to be interesting to see how they're going to construct their board. And if Dimension Shifter is used with only 3 cards left in hand, it'll be very interesting to see how far this DDD board can go. We all know that they have the capability to OTK. They have the capability to set up an incredibly powerful protection board. But in doing so, they run through so many forms of negation, and they also run through, like, Nibiru is one of the biggest, examples of that. So it'll be interesting to see how far this goes. And we still don't know what Chris is playing.
Yeah, I suspect something like Gren Maju. Usually when I see a main deck Dimension Shifter, Gren Maju is usually involved. But if he's playing Gren Maju or some sort of OTK deck that takes advantage of stuff being banished, that would explain the one set. But that just means that this DDD player is just going to steamroll through because he's going. This deck does like to combo off, and DDD Flame King Agnes is a really important card in the deck that triggers whenever a guy is special summoned to his field. It triggers being able to summon an additional guy from the graveyard. Well, he's going to get impermed, but the other one will still work.
Yeah, so this is interesting. Was the imperm set before the gates were activated?
What was the question?
Was the imperm... I was just curious because obviously if the gates were already in play, it might have been a good idea to put the imperm in the gate column. I'm just curious as to why.
So Chris Graham went first and set one pass, set the impermanent pass, and then Max Sack went second, and he just put the gates in different columns. So Flame Genghis has a hard once per turn, so he won't be able to use the other one's trigger effect. He might summon. No, there's Fiber. So we've Chainlink 1, Needle Fiber, Chainlink 2, Phantasme. Defense mode. Chris Graham's deck looking a little more alive now. He should be able to prevent death unless the Needle Fiber combo is as teched out as it is in other high tier decks.
Yeah, I mean, this Phantasme could actually be more important than we could understand, because if this draws into a Nibiru, there's no...
Oh, yeah, I love Phantasme. It's so good
Yeah,
for
I
fixing
mean,
hands.
yeah, exactly. And fixing hands is exactly what you need, especially when you've impermed and you've seen that you've kind of technically bricked in a light way as well. This could really, really unlock Chris's entire plays from him.
Needle Fiber summons DD Lamia. It's the first time I've seen something other than Despot 001 summoned in a long time.
Yeah, you're telling me Needle Fiber doesn't just summon Jet Synchron
Yeah,
and...
he's not going for a Rewardon. What the heck? What's wrong with him? One should tell him.
I mean, this is just as good actually for a DDD matchup. I mean,
Ooh, this is
being
a
able
good one.
to, you know, yeah, High Flame King Genghis is absolutely insane. It basically does what Genghis does again, and it allows you to pretty much bring out even more monsters. So this allows them to bring back Lamia if they want to, or bring back normal Genghis. And then by bringing back normal Genghis, Gust King Alexander will trigger to bring back Lamia, and then that gives them direct access to Crystal Wing or Siegfried, and then they'll also have another beater on board. So technically, if played correctly, this might be an OTK play, unless...
Oh, he has Orochi. He's definitely playing Gren Maju. Has to be. Dimension Shifter and Orochi? There's no way he's playing anything else.
Yeah, I think I have to kind of easily agree with you on that one there. There's... That's the most dangerous thing about Gren Maju, is all it takes is one normal summon that doesn't get negated, and I'm pretty sure it will run over anything that a DDD board can put out, because if it puts out a Crystal Wing, it's not a level 5 or higher.
Yeah, Maju doesn't activate.
Exactly, so this is actually going to be incredibly interesting. Not to mention that he can shotgun Gizmet during his standby phase, which might bait out the Crystal Wing anyway.
He's surviving.
But
That's
still
good.
banishes.
So Gren Maju gains 400 for each. Yeah, I have to pull up cards on my phone so I can make sure that I'm watching.
Yeah, it's 400 for every banished
You're
card.
banished.
So, yeah, you're
not
banished.
all banished. It matters because Eater of Millions is all face down banished, and so sometimes we have to make sure we got them correct. Yeah, 400 for each of your removed from play cards. He has 9, so it's 3,600. That's not enough. But if he plays a Pot of Desires, and he can crash into, into the weak Genghis, that's pretty big.
Doesn't even need to touch the Genghis. Go for the crystal, the Needle Fiber, if he keeps it in play. That is. You've got another 8 that can come off. Yeah, another 8 that will come off Orochi as well. So this plus Desires could be devastating.
I think that if he's not playing, he's activating Needle Fiber right now. It's too easy. It's so broken. It's probably gonna summon either Formula Synchron or Wonder Magician. It's Formula, just gets a draw. Well, it's nice card design, dude.
Formula will give them access to using the level 6 Genghis to go into their DDD Siegfried, which then allows him to turn off any spell attack.
He's in a gate.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I played DDDs when the structure that came out, and that was before the High King Genghis came out. So I know what all the basic Synchro Fusion and XZs do, but I don't know what. I'm not as familiar with High King Genghis, but I know that Siegfried is crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's fine. Now he'd be fine. He'd be fine if it's a Gren Maju. Gren Maju could just flip during.
I wouldn't even want to attack into a face down. I would like to think that by now Max kind of knows that this is a banish heavy deck, so it's always going to be risky to attack a face down, especially when it could easily be a. I mean, what is he looking at now?
Let's see. What can DDD do against a set Gren Maju?
Well, if he's got anything else in his extra deck, just something that needs to pop it.
It's not. I mean, that's not a given. So let's see. He has 7 cards left face down in his extra deck. You know, they're only cards like Unicorn are not a given in decks like this. If he has it, great, but it's not a given. And there also has to be the consideration that he may not have it in mind that Gren Maju might be set. We saw a player just straight up lose the duel because he just unwittingly set a monster that we were all saying on commentary, that card has to be Gren Maju. He just attacked into it and then just lost for no reason. It was so tragic.
Yeah. But that's the wonders of the game sometimes.
Okay. sending Genghis and Siegfried to the grave. Is he linking? Oh, here's a new one.
Gilgamesh.
This is a
So
new
this
one.
is the brand new one. Yeah, it came out
Another
in June.
Phantasme.
Oh, hit with another Phantasme. So this one, basically, you can activate the effect. You can't special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except DDD monsters. You place 2 DD pendulum monsters with different names in your from your deck into your zones. You take 1,000 damage, and then if this link card is destroyed by battle with an opponent's attacking monster or by an opponent's card effect while it's in this monster zone, you special summon 1 DD monster from your extra deck or graveyard. But what it does is it allows you to set up rank 8 plays, because you can put in Thomas and Ragnarok, and then Thomas can pop Ragnarok to special a Ragnarok from deck, and then Ragnarok can revive a card, or he can tribute a card to banish a... I think it has to be a face-up card, or is it just a card?
Matters, because if it's face up and he can't get that set Grand Maju.
Target... Tribute 1 other DD monster, then target 1 monster your opponent controls and banish it.
That's exactly what he needs.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Orochi can activate this turn as well, so...
Crystal Wing's
he's
also
got to
super
get
big
rid of-
because he negated the Phantasme in hand. See, I wouldn't attack
Right,
the Orochi
okay.
first, because now Orochi can just activate and make this Grand Maju bigger.
Well, this is the other issue as well, is he's...
I don't know why he
Doesn't
attacked
know.
Orochi first. I don't know if he's being cognizant of what the set could be.
Yeah, I don't think he is either. I think
I don't
this
think
is
Crystal Wing gets
definitely
over it, even though he's 54.
This
You
is
have
a
to
big
keep track
boy.
of face down. They're all face down banished. It doesn't matter actually. It's just 25, 10,000. Crystal Wing's not nearly big enough. A replay occurs when Orochi is special summoned.
I would take out the Orochi again. Kind of has to.
He will auto lose if a monster with 3,000 attack or less attacks into the set Gren Maju. And he cannot use Siegfried during the damage step because of damage step rules.
Crazy to think that, isn't it? That any monster that isn't above, like, isn't 3,001 attack points or above could lose max of the game in the next attack.
Just in one, it's like you attack an opponent's defense position monster and you lose the game. That like never happens in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Certainly a good tool to start off with as well. Two
Okay,
decks we
attack with the
haven't
Crystal Wing.
seen play for a long one.
He's gonna take a ton of damage, but he's not gonna die. Crystal Wing will live. You have to clear this guy now.
I think he's left on 24. Oh, what?
Oh, he just scooped.
Still looking to earn your invite for the free Players Championship on May 9th and 10th? Visit ppgeventmanagement.com to learn about the different qualifiers available. From one-day events to play-on-your-own schedule events, all events offer a buyback or cash option along with a 100% credit option redeemable towards any future pre-order at competitive prices. Grinding and getting paid to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Has never been easier. Play with the most professional worldwide tournament series today and join the online community. Come join us on Discord for assistance, info, and even discussions about future events.
So let's go ahead and go around the table again. I am Peter Brown. I'm a PPG stream judge and just like to hang out, do commentating for PPG. I'm joined with Dale from the UK. Dale, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I am Dale. I run the Zephyr War Games YouTube channel, and I am guest commentating for the PPG online tour. And I believe this is the biggest one they've had yet. Is that correct, Peter?
I think it's the biggest free weekly we've had. We extended the player cap from 64, and we have 130 players, so we doubled the amount of players that we usually have.
Which is absolutely amazing.
It's gonna be a long day, but it's gonna be fun. NCI gets
Can't be
called
bad
by the
when you
grave.
get to Yu-Gi-Oh! Again, this is massive because the Lancia on the DDDs would seriously shut them down. They lose pretty much all their fusion plays because you've got Swirl Slime to banish the special from the hand. You'd also have the Necro Slime, which would banish to give you your Genghis start-up play and kind of go from there. So massive, massive call by the grave again from Mac.
Yeah, again, he had called by the grave last game too, but he still lost that game.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a lack of, I don't know, general deck knowledge, but I mean, we were both like, that has to be Gren Maju based on all the other cards he was playing on Orochi and Dimension Shifter. Don't just attack into that Gren Maju, that set card willy nilly, because it's going to be Gren Maju, and we were right. And I'm not sure if Max Sax was aware of that.
Yeah, I think he's definitely learned his lesson now, which is you can see he's playing a bit more cautiously. I think it'll be interesting to see what he has in his deck, because like you discussed earlier, the only strategy he had to get rid of a Gren Maju ultimately turns out to be his Oblivion King that we know of. So maybe he's got to try and find a way that he doesn't get one smacked by a Gren Maju, and technically does enough to finish Chris off the next turn.
Has to summon he's summoning everything in defense mode now, and that's kind of interesting. Shows that like he's learned.
Yeah, I mean that's the crazy thing that Orochi provides to the deck is, in the past, a Desires Gren Maju wasn't gonna get you game. But
on the summon Lamia, we have a pause in the game state. Gren is thinking. Nibiru. Interesting. Not a bad time to Nibiru. Token in the middle in defense mode.
Unless he's got a DD in hand, the Swirl Slime's dead, and all he can really do is bring back the Lamia, which might be enough depending on what he has in his extra deck to link off further, but I can't see him creating anything massive. And it was a set.
He's done? No. Anti-spell. Is that huge?
No Desires.
Be hard to Orochi.
4K.
He has Orochi and Gren Maju, he's fine. But if he drew a bunch of pot spells. But I mean, I think that slows down Max Sax too.
I mean, just anti-spell simply just stops you desiring. That's 4K for a Gren Maju on a whim and a draw 2. So it could be very, very bad.
Token has 3,400 defense, so Nibiru is going to need a bit of help to get over it. Orochi Gren Maju will change the math of this game, but otherwise, if he has a bunch of, as Dale pointed out, if he's Potted Desires in hand, that's going to have to wait a turn. He's banishing cards. He might Eater Millions. There he is. There's the out. Easy out to the token. Boy. So we got a boy coming in hot. Now,
I mean, all he needs is
one problem though. Tokens cannot be banished face down by game mechanics. I am pretty sure that when Eater Millions attacks this token, he will just take the damage. And the precedent I have from that is with evenly matched, whenever you get evenly matched and you have tokens, you must keep the tokens, because by game mechanics, you can't banish face down tokens. I'm going to double check with my...
I can only imagine he has a powerful spell in hand. Yeah, there you go. Desires. To resource so much to get to that Phoenix. To clear that back pro.
Wait.
No, he has a
normal... Did he normal summon Necroface?
No, Necroface was discarded by a Phoenix, so just a normal summon Manju.
Another Eater.
Normal summon Manju here, if he has a Cerberus or a Unicorn in extra deck, is game. But it doesn't look like he drew the Manju.
Under the northern lights, our love was shining bright.
We had a bit of a lull here as Chris Gren is thinking, but this is part of the reason why we had the stream on a bit of delay. It is true, I double checked with my lovely PPG job staff, and maybe Chris Gren was aware of this ruling. You cannot banish tokens face down by game mechanics. That is a rule in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a lesser known rule, but it's very important because it means that Eater Millions can out basically every card in the game except a token. And he's facing one right now. Potted Desires. Although, he gets 100 attack for each face-down banished card. And Eater Millions will gain attack off of Max Sax's face-down banished cards. So his attack strength is becoming more and more of a deciding factor in dealing with this token normally. But if he just attacks into the token with Eater as is now, he'll just take damage. Kiss will be impermanenced. Lamia is activating, paying cost. DD Crow is chained. Called by the Grave is chained. Very strong. He is called by the Grave whenever he needs it.
Yeah, he's going to have to tell me how he does that, because that's absolutely insane. He's had it every time, 3 times out of 3.
Combo deck, too. Because it's so hard. Because sometimes when you play Call by the Grave in a combo deck, you draw too many Call by the Graves and not enough ways to combo. He's drawing just the right amount. Gonna fight for a game 3 right here, and it looks like he's on his way. Because I don't see anything else. Oh wait, no, wait. Impermanence was played in the middle in the middle column.
Oh,
that is
wow.
true. That is true. He put it in the wrong column. That's awful. Crow's gonna resolve. That's crushing.
Even with Crow, the worst thing about this board is no matter what Max puts out, a single top deck of Maju pretty much wins the game for Chris, because unless Max puts everything in defense, or whatever he puts in attack is above 3,000 attack, that's game. And leaving Copernicus as in attack.
Another anti-spell. Oh my gosh.
I'm still worried, like, if Gren Maju, normal summon, attack Copernicus, game. Like, how crazy is that?
Huge, especially on a 0 attack Copernicus. Well, I have to read all the cards on the field. I have to read Ragnarok again. I'm vaguely familiar with most of these cards, but it's been a while. Definitely much more familiar with Adamantipator and Elflix cards. Whenever we feature the rogue decks, as I love having some spicy new things to feature on stream, it does mean that we have to elves with many of these decks.
See, I can only imagine that Max would have reduced his spell count in order to allow for anti-spell fragrance, because by playing anti-spell fragrance, ooh, nice Necrophase, everything's going back, and that's going to be a beefy boy as well. That's going to be full. It only goes to the main deck, isn't it? So it'd be 43, 42, no, 44. Sorry.
I didn't see how much Max Sack had before he started putting cards back.
So it's 21 in Chris's, 11 in Max's. So if they all go back to the main deck, Necrophase will be sitting on 4,200, but it does decrease Eater a million. Not that that's the end of the world, because Necrophase to kill token, and the Phoenix kills Copernicus for 19. And I honestly think,
see, like, so I guess my question for you then is, Necrophase kind of counterintuitive to the way the deck wants to work. I understand it has the effect where when it is banished, each player has to banish 5, and that's pretty good in working with Gren Maju. But it seems like if you want to beef up Gren Maju and Eater Millions, summoning Necrophase is the worst.
I think it's more so the fact that he's playing a 40-card version of Gren Maju, so if, by worst case scenario, he desires away his Manjus or he Necrophases away his Manjus, unless he gets that DD, a quick card that can bring it back to hand, they're lost forever, and that's kind of where Necrophase comes in to pretty much save it. And
to keep him alive too, yeah, because when you Orochian Desires a bunch of times, it makes you really close to decking out.
Exactly. And in this point here, it's just got himself a 4,200 beater of Necrophase. And I
How's he
honestly
gonna
think
kill
that
this
that
token?
anti-spell. Yeah, that's how you get rid of it.
If he attacks,
And
if he
I
attacks with Eater Mailing, he's gonna take a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's aware.
If he's not aware, then this could be very, very bad. I honestly think that Max's anti-spell is going to come back to bite him because he needs a contract, which will pretty much get his play started. If he top decks a Ragnarok, that would be the best thing he can do because he just banishes the Swell Slime to special summon it. Other than that, if that token leaves that board, he's not got any defense left.
Eater Mailing did not attack, so I think that's just an indication that he is aware. Max Sack is saying that he misplayed in the player's chat. Maybe I think that's what you were referring to. The anti-spell is really gonna hurt him. Trispana. That's a card.
Yeah,
now Necroface. No, Necroface does not trigger, but is Eater now. He's making Link Rebo. Alright,
Yeah.
so Trispana will go.
I mean, I'm not too sure if I would have.
Burns for 1,000.
I just feel that with the Necroface, he had enough to deal with that token. Now, I'm not too sure the attack of the token. I'm pretty sure it was a Hali Firebrax, a Lamia, and a Genghis. So it's sitting on 36.
It's 36, you're right.
So
attack position beat over it.
Exactly. It now just becomes a top deck game because...
Yeah, he's put in attack mode, he's ready. Token time. Where's Token Collector?
Plus, let's not
Everyone
mention
play Token Collector.
Topping a Maju right now is not going to be good at all because it's only going to be on 400. So
3,400 looks right. It should be the exact same. Oh wait, hold on. How much defense did we say it had? It doesn't gain.
30...
Why?
It
Because
should
Fiber.
have
Oh, because the Lamia had a lot of defense. That's why.
24.
I was like, Nina
Yeah.
Fiber has no defense because it's a Link, but it's because of Lamia. They had a lot of defense.
Yeah, Lamia and Genghis makes it 34.
34. They're saying 36.
So it should be 36 attack, I think.
No. Okay. Eee. Figure it out.
Yeah, 36 attack and 34 defense.
Just start writing these down. I think Chris Graham's in trouble, and I think that you're right. He got put himself in this position with the Trispana play. He was fine before, and honestly, he was fine before he played Necroface.
I mean, I think the Necroface was kind of necessary in my opinion, but what he should have done is he should have got rid of the token and left the Copernicus, or got rid of the token and then used Phoenix to get rid of the Copernicus, and then there's nothing there for him to play with. And then I definitely would have left Max under the anti-spell. I just think it would have hurt Max a lot more than Chris.
Some people in chat are saying, wasn't it game? Necro was at 4,400. He should be at 3,400 because he shuffled 10 cards from banished face down into the extra deck, and Necroface will only gain attack when cards are shuffled into the main deck. So that means 10 of the cards didn't count.
10 from Eater of Million.
Oh, where art thou? Huge. Oh, for Jet Synchron, he's just gonna roll Savage draw 4. Going for Kepler.
So I think if he plays this right, I think Kepler can get him the Fusion Gate. He gets the normal summon, so he's not going to take the 2k burn. He gets the Fusion Gate, and he can make a big beater to go through. But it's all about top decks right now. This is where it's crazy. And in the Maju play, usually a top deck of, Maju would be enough to win the game, and it's just not strong enough right now. A Desires would.
Because Necroface, he set his whole deck. He wasn't close to decking out.
Crush Cheap, and then Fusion.
Cheap.
So this will get back Copernicus, and I believe then Copernicus can... Oh, he chooses to banish it.
Banishing Copernicus.
See, I might have brought back the Copernicus because then Copernicus could have sent... Maybe he didn't have enough. I probably would have sent the
Summon High King.
Necro.
Then High King triggers. Oh, but he doesn't have a target. Yeah, I guess he just had a weird assortment in his grave. But he could have just banished Swirl Climb instead of Copernicus. Doesn't matter.
Oh, it was a game anyway.
Got scooped. Okay. Max Sax is ready. We're going to game 3. And Chris Gren's going first. Through his own choice. Dimension Shifter. So he goes first and Dimension Shifters himself. This card gains life points every time a card is banned.
So he's now going to gain 5,000.
Oh, it's for each. It's for each. We'll gain 5,000.
He's going to gain 5,000 life points, which is a mental. And then you Orochi.
Insane.
You're gaining 4k. It's like this card it's more of a techie card in my opinion, but you could end up getting to like the tens of thousands with this. I think like the most I've ever seen anyone get is like 30,000 life points. Absolutely crazy.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Gains 5,500. That's correct. Yeah. If the card said, you're good. Go.
I was gonna say it gains 500 for each card. So if a card is banished, so throughout Max's entire plays, anything he puts to the graveyard, because it's under D-Shifter, is going to get banished, means Chris is going to gain life points from it.
When I first read of Soul Absorption, I thought it was in each instance the card is banished, gain 500 life. But then I read the for each part, and I was like, that's insane. It changes everything. That's why you play it. Wow. That's a lot of life points.
Yeah, this is crazy. So after turn
That's time
1,
of the round. That's fine. Sack. Dimension Shifter is live. Are down by 6,500 life points. What will you do?
To be honest, in my opinion, I probably wouldn't play if I was Max. I would probably set up a defensive board, set whatever back row I might have, and then pass, which is pretty much the minimum of
what he did. But he's no back row in this combo deck. That's called by the grave. Which does nothing against Gren Maju. In fact, it helps them. There's a Orochi. Big snake.
I'm sorry to say this, but it looks like it's going to be such, with no way of getting rid of that soul absorption, it's going to be such a big hill for Max to climb back onto.
You know, but once you've set up a big board, life points don't matter. You know, I mean, the board will just sustain itself. Now, obviously, when Gren Maju is summoned, the game fundamentally changes. But if he makes a big DDD board, you know, life points don't really matter.
True, very true, but that's the scary thing about it is he's on 18.5 right now. All it takes, even if he got put down to 1 life point, all it takes is ripping that Manu off the top, normaling it, and swinging for game. Like, all it takes is Max to be a little bit careless, and that's game.
Imperm in the 4th column. Gotta remember that this time. I love this card. Dark Contract with the Gate. Such a cool card. You can play like a mini engine with this in Lamia. I think I'm not as pessimistic as you. I think that he can climb through this. Because he can't play another Dimension Shifter, so I don't know how he's gonna really stop these plays. DDD can put up some boards.
Without a doubt, and I mean DDD. Let's not forget if he does play the Arc in the extra.
Here's more life points. It doesn't matter. If life points mattered, people would play Ghost Sister. That's true. That's true. YuGiOh doesn't. When I'm explaining YuGiOh to like beginner players or people who are like peripherally in the game, or even like people just not associated with the game at all, and I explain like how YuGiOh works, and they're like, oh yeah, like it's all about getting their life points to 0. I'm like, yeah, but like, you know, more fundamentally, that's just not how you like. I don't know. It's just not really how the game works in practice, you know, because there are a lot of steps in order to get their life points to 0, and it's more about making, I suppose. That's the degenerate way of looking at it, you know, like trading big degenerate boards. It's a little more technical than that, but you know, I always see YuGiOh more as a card advantage game, and that if you have more cards than your opponent, usually you win, regardless of a life points difference. But again, like at its most fundamental way, yes, if their life points go to 0, you win. But it's a little more complicated than that. What do we got here? Here's Needle Fiber again. The boy. Oh, he gains 500. Oh, I love this. This is great. Yo, he can play Ancient Leaf. Do you know what that card does? Oh no, we lost Dale. It's alright. Ancient Leaf. Oh, there's Nibiru! No! Oh no! I need Nibiru's in the chat. That's huge. And the Rochi's in the grave. That's a big token, right? There's a lot of attack. Defense. There's a Rochi's defense as well. It's somewhere around 4,000. I would do it very quickly, but it should be a lot. So 200, 300, 15, 2450. I'm just going to do that math for y'all. E plus 5 plus 2k. So it's just 2k. It's just Orochi plus 2k. So it's a 4450 defense on the token. Brock is on the board. I love that. I love that. The Farfa Nibiru emote. The PPG one is clean because it's OG, but the Farfa one is funny. It's a nice meme. Oh my gosh, did he just play Desires? He has 25,000 life points. Holy crap. And Orochi's gonna get him bigger. I actually agree with, I don't know what happened to Dale, but now he kind of has a point. Now life points matter. Like there's a certain point where like you have infinite life points, and then the board making card advance theory goes out the window. Like that theory only goes up to a certain extent. If he has infinite life points, like 25,000, there's no board that puts out 25,000 damage. There's anti-spell. How much attack is this? Let's see. Dale, how are we doing? A little bit of audio problems here. This is game 3. And checking his grave. 25,000 life points. Unbelievable. Token? I thought the token had... I calculated a higher attack, a higher defense for that token. 4450. Trying to figure this out. You're pretty far along now, though. trying to make sure that everything is good. I messaged Max like, we actually have a problem. The token should not have been destroyed by battle because the token was attributed Orochi to. That's no problem. Dale's having a bit technical difficulties, but we're doing the best we can. So I had to message. I can't message the actual dueling book main chat, but I can PM the players, and I PM'd Max Stack saying, "Hey, I had 4450 defense for the token." We're gonna have the judge be more official judge. I'm a stream judge. I don't know what that means really, but I just make sure proper game state is maintained on stream. And that token definitely had more defense than they thought.
Yeah, I think that's quite important to keep in mind on. Is always, is it allowed? Is it allowed to jot down the attack of the token? Does that count as note taking?
I was taking notes.
Yeah, I mean, because I know that there was the rules recently came out. It's like you can mark down any mandatory effects. So I suppose you should be allowed to, mark down what the Nibiru tokens have.
I don't. That's a very deep question. I believe, in Konami rules, you cannot. But I don't like. I think in the explicit rules. Hold on, we're gonna. Sorry, I have no friend's name because I'm talking to the players right now.
It looks like they're just trying to repair it.
Try to rewind if we can. We had a card drawn. Judge. All right. Sorry for the delay. You're allowed to write down the Nibiru stats. I've heard different things from different Konami head judges. I think it's not the kind of thing where like if I saw a player do it, I would like go after them. Like it's a thing that's good for all players. Pascal Kim coming in, making sure we're all good. Yeah, I think note-taking, stats of cards should be accessible at all times. I think that's right. Note-taking is a very dicey topic. All right, we're all good to go. Okay, Nibiru gets banished.
Right, all fixed and back on the way. So this is very interesting. I think one of the biggest questions I'm seeing on the YouTube chat is, like why the anti-spell in DDDs? And only I can say from this is, I would believe that he feels stopping his opponent access to desires, which is giving probably one of his biggest win cons, an additional 4K, kind of balances it out in Max's mind. But until we get to speak to Max at the end, we won't know that example. But it could be looking to win in the game.
He's up against a player with 25,500 life points, and it is about to go even higher if he uses this Orochi. Now, super polymerization, that's huge. Oh my god. Even Max Sack in the chat says, "Jeez."
Now, I can only assume that has been set for an entire turn, but
Wow.
Trackers Depelia.
Trackers Depelia, it works. That's crazy. That's so funny.
Gain for 2 Banished Boys. Yes, you do. This is absolutely crazy. I mean, this is the type of game you want to start off with.
25,000 life points in game 3. Time actually matters now.
I think someone put in the chat about 10 minutes ago that there was 25 minutes or something left in the game. This is very, very interesting.
There should be. I have 3 minutes remaining in time, so I think Chris can just hold on. He's gonna have to do. Oh, I wonder if he sided this in. He's gonna have to do 18,500 damage just to tie.
Another thing to mention on the anti-spell as well, this is something that I kind of overlooked, is so the reason you can play Floodgates like this is if you get your Cursed King Siegfried, you can actually just turn off anti-spell during your turn.
Yeah.
Make all of your players, and then lock your opponent back on. Ooh.
He's making Link Rebo. He's just playing defense.
He doesn't need to do anything more, does he?
He doesn't need to do anything. That's so funny. Oh, Anima!
Ooh. Take the token. Can he take the token? Yeah.
It'll just get removed. It'll just disappear. Token just disappears. It should have zero. Can't equip a token. No. Come on, guys.
Very easy way. Stop attacking.
Stop it. Just disappear.
Everyone's got to remember that. Come on, people play GOAT format, no?
That's literally the precedent. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Oh no, I feel so bad for Max Sack. He's losing precious time because of the ruling. It's not gonna gain any attack because it's not equipped.
I mean, it's still
It'll just
very
disappear.
interesting.
It's literally the same as Dale said.
Still, that's one nice route to get rid of a Nibiru token you can't deal with. They're just trying to figure this out now.
Tough watching on the stream side, watching things like this, and now the timer is still just going to go down. And Pascal Kim has not given any time extensions, and he's down by so much life. Oh my gosh. Whether or not Max will get an extension is up to Pascal Kim. Some dude said I can't equip tokens. I'm that some dude. Pascal Kim will always have final say over me, but again, this is what Pascal Kim is for. Tokens can be equipped. They just disappear. The anima gain attack equal to the token? It should not, because of GOAT. We've been doing this since 2003. The token should just disappear. You can't put a token in the spell and trap zone. Have you ever seen that before? If you've never seen it, okay, Pascal Kim says it's at 0. So okay, so let's go over some of the specific language. Can you equip a token? I said no, where the question is, the answer is technically yes, you can equip it, but then when it actually does the equip thing, it goes to the spell and trap zone, it just disappears. So I'm right and I'm wrong. Was that the result is Anima equips and then the guy just goes to the guy goes to 0. Oh no, people in Twitch chat are raging at.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure this out myself. I've always known that.
I have never ever seen a token in the spell and trap zone.
Yeah.
Go.
I mean, I know you take it and then it just disappears, like you said. That's what I've always.
I've never seen that in Goat. Since when? All right, that's fine. It's fine. I learned something today. All right, see you soon.